Welcome to Mad About Money. This morning we'll talk about what's going on in North Korea. We'll look at Boral and Ramsay's reports today. We'll get an earnings season report card, and I'll ask these experts when it's time to buy CBA and Telstra. I'm Marty Switzer.
I'm Peter Switzer.
I'm Paul Rickard.
And we're Mad About Money. Morning, guys.
Hi.
So Pete, bit of activity over the last couple of days in North Korea. It's really a bit of a comedy show at the moment. What sort of impact do you think this is going to have? The markets did bounce back in the US last night. How concerned about it are you?
Well, I'm concerned because yesterday we ended up in the ASX 200 index at 5,669, and I thought 5,670 was a support level. The support level is around that way. The fact that we bought into it and we didn't end on the low, I was happy about that. But if we got one more bad night out of Wall Street because of North Korea, we would have been going down possibly to 5,500, which is a long way down from where we started.
So, Paul, earnings season hasn't really taken the market higher so
Marty,
far. If anything, it's macro bringing us down.
Yeah, look, well, firstly, earnings season has been a bit disappointing, all right? I think people had hoped that we'd see a bit more positivity in terms of outlook statements. We haven't seen that.
Companies grew profits, but no one really surprised, did they?
Well, I think what's been the highlight has been the resource companies have done really well, probably better than expected. Yeah, well, probably better than even expected there, Pete, I think. But some of the the high-priced, so-called industrial darlings, the Domino's, you can probably name a few, BlueScope and others, have underwhelmed underwhelmed in their outlook statements.
All-weather performers, Rudy Van Dyke likes to call them.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, resources and banks have done better, and the rest of the market has probably done worse, and I think the market needed a little more momentum and more positivity and hasn't seen it. So it's obviously currency headwinds are an issue for a lot of companies, but also just no one's sort of out there sort of saying, we're going gangbusters, guys, and this is a gangbusters economy. It ain't there at the moment.
Yeah, in a sense, Marty, I think we all thought it'd be a good reporting season. We were hoping it would be great, but Aitken would be okay. Resources did actually deliver, but the other companies are okay. But it still was a big improvement on the 12 months before, wasn't it? Because profits were going down 12 months before. They still went up, 5, 6?
Yeah, it's not as though profits aren't up and dividends are up. They are, but it just hasn't really shot the lights out. And maybe expectations were too high, but it's not the catalyst to take us up through 6,000 just yet.
Well, let's talk through two of the companies that of note that report this morning. You've had Ramsay and Boral. Paul, talk us through that.
Yeah, so first of all, Ramsay's come in pretty much as they guided. They guided to NPAT growth and EPS growth of between 12 and 14%. They've delivered about 12.7 on NPAT and 13% on EPS growth. So right in the middle of guidance.
How will market treat them?
And they've guided next year to growth of 8 to 10%. So that's a little down. Maybe that's for the market might be just saying, well, not quite as you've done in the past.
And you see, why overpromise?
Well, why overpromise? So, look, but again, the star was Australian hospitals. Compare that to HealthScope. There's no difference. The difference between Ramsay and HealthScope are just absolute chalk and cheese, right? So Ramsay's delivered in Australia. The challenges obviously in the UK and France continue a little bit.
Is Ramsay a buy now?
Look, I still think Ramsay's good value. If you want to be hospitals, whether the market might just take it off a little bit today, I don't know. It's
a quality company.
It's a quality company, one to look at in any weakness. Boral's probably shot the lights out again. Its operating profits up 28%, I think it is. Market has already priced it in, but also looks like pretty strong guidance for next year. So
this is a company that's gone overseas and succeeded.
Yeah, well, it's probably a little early to say it's succeeded. I mean, they're telling us it's going well, so the market's probably going to like the Boral result, I guess.
Fair enough.
So, Pete, two big stocks have been impacted, CBA and Telstra. When's it time to buy those? Or is it not time to buy those?
CBA is in more trouble than Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But
Indiana always gets out of trouble, though.
Correct, and that's exactly good point, Marty. Look, I think the share price will get a bit further. This is going to be a buying opportunity. Because the problems at CBA are not structurally dangerous for the bank, but they've been making mistakes. It's going to probably result in their rev, maybe leaving earlier than expected. But the bottom line is, I'm not worried about the overall quality of the bank. It'll be a buying opportunity.
Telstra?
Well, I'll have a go. I think the smarties will get it earlier on CBA. CBA's actually held up better than the other banks.
You're still on Peter's words.
No, the last 2 days, despite all the publicity, CBA's held up better than the other banks, right? So it's had a lot of the damage. I think this whole thing is overdone. But look, just Smarties.
You're upsetting a few.
Smarties will get it earlier, right? So I'm a
CBA
Smartie,
shares
and I reckon it's not too far off now.
Okay, well, I'm with you. Give us your view on Telstra.
Yeah.
Telstra, not yet. Look, I mean, I don't think there's any hurry with Telstra.
350?
Look, no, I'm not that bearish on Telstra, but I just think you've got time, so you can wait for the market sell-off,
me
or
too, I agree.
you can time it a little bit. I don't think you need to.
And where's the growth going to come from
That's right.
Telstra
They
as well?
really have no convincing story about where the growth is
All the
coming
competitors
from.
now are in market advertising new
Vodafone
NBN deals.
Yeah.
There are 100 and something sellers of NBN services. You know,
Yeah.
but Telstra has got over 50% market share of new NBN connections. So give it some credit. But where's the growth going to come from? It's got a big gap, big hole to fill here, and it's going to be a while before it can demonstrate
And a bad track record with acquisitions.
And a bad track record of acquisitions, and a bad track record of doing things well, right? I mean, you got to be honest about Telstra. It is not our number one company, right? It hasn't been in decades.
No, but it's got the best database in the country and it just doesn't use it well, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I'm a Telstra buyer, but I just think you can be
Not yet.
You can just be patient, wait for the market sell off, set a level, wait for a really bad down day. I think I'm probably more like about the 350 to 360 type
Okay,
area.
I'll agree with Paul on that.
That's all we've got time for. I'm Marty Switzer.
I'm Peter Switzer.
I'm Paul Rickard.
And we're
Mad About Money.